Hey, what's up, guys? Crypto Keith here, reporting to you. Just watched Ivan on Tech's debate video with Richard Hart, and I'd like to share my opinions. Everyone has their opinion, and you can watch that video yourself by finding it down below. And check out the comments in the chat, and you'll see all the range of opinions. But for me, I just feel I need to touch on this a little bit so people don't take what he's saying too seriously and understand why he might not be the best person to listen to for financial advice. I feel I have to do this for the crypto community and then the newbies, so they don't just see this as FUD and that Bitcoin's dead, which is what you would take from this interview. I did a video earlier today saying a more positive view on this crash, where we went over these different images I have here. Basically, so is crypto dead? Is Bitcoin dead? Had a little joke about it being because of Crypto Nick betraying the crypto community, popping the bubble. This is what a very small percentage of people might be thinking is, crashing back to earth. If you are selling right now, it might not be the best option for you, because really it's only paper losses until you solidify those losses by cashing out or selling at that price, right? So people that are watching, adding up their profits, losses, might go a little bit crazy, and then there's people celebrating. I think that's Ron Paul. It's a good image because governments are definitely rejoicing and celebrating at this point. And everyone who told you that Bitcoin was a bubble, all your family members that said it was a bad idea, and regulators that said you're going to lose all your money, media who said that, they're all celebrating at this point. Me, I'm just waiting patiently, and there's different reactions: sadness, anger, feeling like smashing your computer. And this is how Richard Hart would fit into these different reactions. This one right here, basically, might not break his own things, but he might punch a couple walls. And then there's people that are just quietly buying, and I think these might be the smartest people and the people that come out ahead from this really opportunity. Is it because of regulators, the attacks on Bitcoin that are coordinated? Well, they don't really make much sense. A lot of governments and regulators are saying they don't want you to invest in cryptocurrencies. They don't want, say, China, the States, now crypto fund or retirement funds. Some of them are being limited from investing in cryptocurrencies because they could lose people's money. Well, what about the debt that our governments have put us in? Should we really be taking financial advice from our governments who put us in $233 trillion worth of debt? Meanwhile, cryptocurrencies market capitalization is only $700 billion to lose, and we can't go in debt with cryptocurrencies unless you go to the regular banking system, and our traditional financial system will give you loans so that you can go in debt. It's really all about debt, the current system. Cryptocurrencies are the total opposite. They're basically, not all of them, but a lot of them have built in, it's coded in there to be able to, not be so manipulated, not have such control where, governments can just shut it down, or governments can manipulate the price purposely. But although that's what we're seeing right now, we're seeing their best efforts at trying to kill, shut down, and destroy public opinion on cryptocurrencies, or at least decentralized cryptocurrencies. So we can at least have faith, have hope, that once this is all over, we have nothing to worry about going ahead. We know that the attacks have happened. We know that the government has thrown everything at Bitcoin, and this is part of the reasons why when there's just one regulation, one piece of FUD over the past couple of years, when it's been trickling out, it actually does better. Because whatever doesn't kill Bitcoin makes it stronger, and that can be applied to a lot of these cryptocurrencies. So I do want to share a part of that video with you, but who really is to blame for this, right? Well, you can blame governments, but really you have to take action, take responsibility for what you did. And so I could have sold more at a higher price, but that would have just helped me profit. It wouldn't have helped cryptocurrencies succeed long run. So really what I can do is buy now. I have a great opportunity to buy. So, and really it's the community's fault in general that we're at these low prices, because if people didn't react to the FUD, if people understood that we were going to get these attacks and to remain calm through them, if people didn't sell, then we would not be at the place we're at right now, right? So it's really people selling, although there were some institutional bankers buying Bitcoin up, governments buying up Bitcoin, and then along with all these regulations, they would have started selling to trick a lot of new investors into selling as well. So, you just cannot, you have to learn from this and cannot do the same things in the future, following everybody else that's selling, or just listening to the news, the media, and selling based off of what they're telling you. So those are some lessons we can take from this. The crypto wars have begun, and really I think that this is happening, a lot of it because the governments want to somehow market and push their own cryptocurrencies on people, centralized cryptocurrencies, so they'll show how decentralized cryptocurrencies don't work. So they're going to try to do everything they can to make you need a savior. And part of that was going to be crashing the dollar so that they can push their one world currency on you. Well, now they have to crash crypto too to also do that. Although crypto will recover, especially if we, as a community, help it recover. So that's my my introduction. We've had many times people think that Bitcoin was dead after Mt. Gox, after Silk Road was shut down, and we realized that really nothing can kill it. Governments have realized that too, but they have realized that they can manipulate the price. They can't destroy it completely, ban it, take it down. They can just manipulate the price and make people lose a lot of money, then making them not so confident, not so interested in it anymore. So could have they, when we saw this huge spike a couple months ago, could have they been doing that on purpose to basically create a bubble, create the illusion of a bubble, an illusion of a bubble popping, so that a lot of people wash their hands with cryptocurrency? Yes. And I think those are the people that really hurt cryptocurrency and the price anyways, selling as soon as the littlest thing happens. So it won't be such a bad thing to get those people out of the community, or at least educate them on why they invest and the long-term vision of these cryptocurrencies, and not just invest off of a chart and profits, right? Past profits. This is the curve that you can follow, and even in this video, this interview with Ivan on Tech, he did mention this. You know, he said, you know, how it's going to go back, the cycle, how it goes down, and the bull trap, the fear, the computation, despair, and then he said the cycle repeats itself. So this is one of the things that, you know, he admitted why he was wrong, that Bitcoin was dead. The cycle is going to repeat itself. He might have his own motivations. He says he's creating an ICO, so I don't really know his full motivation. I think a lot of people, they get angry, and obviously he was talking on emotion a lot in this interview, and so that's a good judgment. You can basically understand that he's very emotional about his losses. He had a lot of money in Bitcoin, and at this point he's going to be saying it's dead, but as soon as it starts to recover, he'll change his mind. And this is something that the man does a lot. You can see he changes his mind a lot. First he was a Bitcoin maximalist, now he's saying it's dead. First he was against Ethereum, now he's all for Ethereum. You know, he's talking about how ICOs are a bad thing, and now he wants to create his own. Talking bad about IOTA, he might change his mind on that, but he does have a lot of good arguments, and you know, some of his points do ring home. And I'm not going to say everything he was saying was you know, made up or fugazi or not really valid. But when he says Bitcoin is dead, this was not really, you can tell by a lot of the factors, and even him admitting it, that this is not the case. And we'll show you what we mean in a second when we look at that video. I think the prices are going to recover, but let's take a look at that video. Give me 1 second to prepare here. And I just want to show you one key point in that video. I'd like to do actually a video where I take all the good parts of that video and put them together, because it was a very long live stream, but very good and very educational, and very actually it was more entertaining than educational, but there were some educational points thrown in there. So I'll play a little part for you guys here.
You click the beginning of your old bubble, the end of your old bubble, and then you can drag it to today. So you can take the old bubble and you can drag it right over today. Make sure you've got log clicked in the bottom right so that it makes up for the number difference, right? And we recovered a lot faster in the 2014 bubble than we did today. This recovery is dog shit. This ain't, it's the worst. It's worse than that. It's over. And if you don't believe it, go grab the old bubble, use the bars tool, drag it out.
So he's saying that this is the reason, basically a lot of what people are using to justify their bubble theory is the same reason that he's saying Bitcoin is dead. He doesn't really have any other reasons other than the price being so low.
You can see it for yourself. It's fucked. Every time I post it, I lose a lot of Twitter followers. All my Twitter followers love me for my Bitcoin maximalism. And now that I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist anymore, and I think the price is going down, fucking hate me. Hate me.
So have you sold all your Bitcoin then?
Or unfortunately, I haven't. Because
okay, so again, a key point that he's admitting here is that he hasn't sold his Bitcoin. If he really believed this, he would have sold his Bitcoin. If he really could tell the future and see the future, he would have sold his Bitcoin. And if he thinks it's going to go down even lower, for sure, he would sell his Bitcoin. And if he thinks it's never going to recover, he would sell his Bitcoin. He's saying that the markets will recover in 2 years. The reason he's saying that is looking at the Mt. Gox crash in 2013. I do think that a lot of people are waiting to put money back in to Bitcoin, and they're going to do that as soon as the price starts rising again. So it's really up to us, and we can start this momentum of it building back up in value.
I'm a fucking idiot. So
He does say a lot of true points, though, like he just said there.
I've lost a lot of money because.
Okay, so he's lost a lot of money. So why would we listen to his financial advice?
Found it very hard to part with these things. Like I ain't gonna say I want to cry, but this has been very.
But he's gonna cry, guys. He's gonna cry.
I really liked Bitcoin, and it's not cool. I don't want to see it die.
So he's crying. So we can tell that he's acting on emotions. Most of what he's saying is emotional, and something that you do not want to do in making your decisions on cryptocurrency. Even Superman, had talked about this live stream. It's just very entertaining. Now, let's see what AMTV's saying. They're alternative media television. Now, the exact same area I came from, I had an alternative media channel, and he got a lot of his money through. He took advantage of a certain point where governments, YouTube, all these social media outlets were censoring people's videos and tweets and things like that, right? So he took advantage of that and did a crowdfunding campaign and made hundreds of thousands of dollars, and that's why his video quality is so good. He says Bitcoin crash explained by a Bitcoin millionaire. I guess he put a little bit of Bitcoin in a while ago, but it's interesting that a lot of people that are in their alternative media, some of them are into Bitcoin, but the only people you won't see that talk bad about Bitcoin are the ones that are trying to promote silver, gold and silver. So they have their bias, right? This guy, he owns Bitcoin, so in a sense he might be biased. But let's just look at the other side of the spectrum here for a second.
That the United States federal government has accumulated as a result of mismanagement and trillion-dollar bailouts. Of course, if you believe the mainstream media, you would have never touched Bitcoin in 2013, and you never would have seen the kinds of returns that you've read about on the news. In fact, if you would have taken $100 and bet on Bitcoin 2013 or earlier, you'd have over $100 million today. So here's the question. Has Bitcoin just crashed? Is it a bubble? Is it the end of the world like the mainstream media says? Or is there something else going on here? You see, I actually think this is the greatest opportunity of a lifetime, and you've just been given a gift. You know, it's kind of like looking at a piece of real estate. You looked at it yesterday. It's this lovely home. It's got a great lot. It's a great property, but you just can't afford it. Maybe it's $300,000 and you can't afford the mortgage. Now all of a sudden, it's at a fire sale. 50% off. That same house that you love, that you want to move in with your family and raise your kids, is now 150 grand. And it's the same piece of property. Imagine if you would have bought tech stocks after the crash of 2001. Companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, Tesla, Microsoft. These companies are some of the biggest companies on planet Earth today. Jeff Bezos spends most of his time flying off in rockets. He's now the wealthiest man on planet Earth. You know, in 2008-09, I made one of my best investments of really my life up until Bitcoin. I bought Apple stock under $100 when nobody else.
So guys, there you have it. Now he is trying to sell a course, and I don't recommend buying his course. This isn't really his expertise. He doesn't spend all his time and all days researching cryptocurrency. So I would get a course from someone who does. That's their career. His career is really conspiracies and controversial alternative television, so exposing governments and things like that. So, but it's nice to see he has a more clear view, or more similar to my view, and a lot of us that have been in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin a long time, he says it perfectly. Now, I did write so I did write earlier today a little bit of something I wanted to say, and from the first part of the video, I didn't get my earlier video today. They didn't get a chance to read this, but this is what I feel and what I think about this crash. What caused the recent crash of today, or the past couple weeks? Bitcoin and crypto have been crashing since mid-January 2018. This is only the latest of many crashes. So you can see if you go through and look at Bitcoin's charts and look at actually the full history, you can see that this has happened many times, and it always goes up higher after the crash. It's just a matter of when. I predicted it was almost, if you follow the trend, right? There's a trend in Bitcoin that starts happening. Now, there are outside factors that are affecting this trend and making it harder to predict, and changing the timeline a little bit. But it was set to hit $8,000 around December. Now, that was delayed a little bit because of the futures being launched, because of institutions buying up Bitcoin, and a lot of things that were going on. Now, the crash is here, but it's a little bit also manipulated because of FUD, media, and governments, right? Regulation, lawsuits, things like that, right? Tether, big reason why, it might even go lower this time. But we were due to hit 8,000, and we're there now. So after we hit 8,000, I was, following the trend, the pattern. I was almost certain we were going to hit $30,000 after that, and I still am. The question is just when, right? It might be delayed a couple months. We might not get back up to there for 6 months, but we will get there. So the people who win are going to be the ones who either buy low or hold. Now, also on Richard Hart's Twitter, he did tell people to buy Bitcoin at 17,000. So what's changed? What has changed? Well, the markets, and people that just go off the markets and their emotions, they're the ones who really lose. And they're the ones who sell lower than they bought. And really, this is what we're trying to avoid, and why bots can make a lot of money trading cryptocurrencies. Okay, so each year we get FUD thrown at us, and a lot of times it makes it stronger because we get that out of the way. People see it didn't kill it, so they have more confidence in Bitcoin. And there's no difference here. This is going to happen too. Once all of this, once the market starts recovering, you're going to see it happen really fast, and a lot of money start coming back into crypto. So recently, many governments have had a joint effort to seemingly regulate, control, dampen gains to protect you from further losses. They seem to be crashing Bitcoin. Does this make sense? Right? Crashing Bitcoin to protect you from further losses, from saying that, oh, you could lose everything in Bitcoin. So now they're crashing Bitcoin through all sorts of regulation and things like that, knowing what's going to happen, doing it all at once, knowing that that's going to affect it, but then they're warning you at the same time. Well, they're warning you because they're purposely doing this and they don't want to be sued for it and things like that, right? So a lot of times the guilty parties will show their guilt. So they seem to be crashing Bitcoin. Does this make sense? Maybe they also want to prove the potential of crypto to crash quickly under certain conditions. Maybe the gains made them fear their control and power was at stake. Some governments are supportive, and once the dust settles, we will rebound just as quickly as we crashed. So this is a long-term fight, and times like this are when the people who understand the tech and do their own research and thinking are rewarded, because we hold. That's why they say hodl, right? Hodl, 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 because you are rewarded in the long run. And if you can see, as AMTV was saying, showing with the tech bubble, people who bought at that crash made a lot of money. But it's counterintuitive to want to buy right now if you act on emotions. If you act on logic and history and trends and patterns, it would be the smartest time to buy right now. The most, usually it would be the least amount of risk, but yes, I know there's a lot of stuff going on which make it risky, so it might not be the perfect time to buy. It's up to you whether you decide. We're not trying to tell you when to buy, if to buy. We're just trying to give you a better understanding so you can make your own decisions, right? But you could get in partially now, partially if it crashes more, but at least you got in and you got some of those cheap prices, which is what I'll probably be doing. So by being calm and logical in times of FUD, we hodl and the rest fold. It is really up to us to not sell. It will be us who keep crypto alive, strong, and avoid a full-on attack and defeat. So guys, do not sell and buy more. It will be the ones who do this that will win from this and ultimately help Bitcoin survive and cryptocurrencies in general. So buying right now, if you want to see them succeed long term, it might be a good time to buy now, because really a lot of investors and even retail investors, institutional and retail investors, they watch for prices to start to go up before they put money in. So if we start this, it's kind of like a pump. If you start to pump Bitcoin by buying and then giving people confidence, we can actually recover it and help it survive. So that's all I wanted to say, guys, and like always, have a great one. Hit the bell down below, subscribe, get on our crypto gang, and we'll be doing lots of exciting things coming up, doing partnerships, launching tokens, and things like that. So we're actually going to be involved a lot more coming up, so doing our own interviews and things like that. So as well as we're going to when we get time, do some marketing for this channel. So if you want to, in the meantime, you can share our videos and things like that and help us out if you want to see us succeed and like our perspectives and our outlook on cryptocurrencies. So we'll see you later, guys, and have a great day. Yeah.
Ooh, big head on the ring.
Crypto gang, crypto gang, crypto gang, crypto gang, crypto gang, crypto gang, crypto gang. Sending my savings on blockchain. My bitch loves to complain. Got so much wallets, I lose track of things. I can really buy myself anything. You don't have coins, you an old bang. Exchange for change. Crypto gang, crypto gang, crypto gang, crypto gang, crypto gang, gambling on the blockchain. Free from the government, my phone is a bank. Watch my channel, you could learn a thing. Dropped out of school trying to clean your brain. Trying to make the free minded feel insane. One thing I learned on the streets is people will do anything just to eat.